World War I, a global mess of trench mud, barbed wire, and enough artillery to make the earth itself beg for mercy. It's 1917, and America's been sitting on the sidelines, munching popcorn and selling weapons to whoever can pay. But let's throw out the script and ask, what if America never joined the war? Let's start with the basics. By 1917, the Allied powers, France, Britain, and friends, were in serious trouble. Millions were dead, trenches stretched endlessly, and morale? Let's just say it was circling the drain. Meanwhile, Germany was knocking on victory's door, thanks to unrestricted submarine warfare and their powerful military machine. Now, historically, America stepped in like the cavalry at the 11th hour. 2 million fresh American soldiers arrived, guns blazing and doughboys dancing. They tipped the balance, giving the Allies the manpower and resources to launch decisive offensives. But what if Uncle Sam decided, nah, not my problem? Here's how things could have gone down. Without American troops, the Western Front would have stayed a brutal game of tug-of-war. Germany's spring offensives in 1918 might have pushed deeper into French territory. Imagine the Eiffel Tower with a German flag on top. Talk about a photo op. The Allies, already struggling, might have had no choice but to negotiate peace. This could have led to a treaty that looked a lot different than the harsh Treaty of Versailles. Germany might have kept its empire intact. And the map of Europe? Completely redrawn. World War I wasn't just fought with bullets, it was fought with bucks. The Allies relied heavily on American loans and supplies. Without them, Britain and France would have been financially crippled. The German blockade might have starved Britain into submission, and France, already battered, could have followed. Meanwhile, in the East, Russia was a hot mess. The Bolshevik Revolution of 1917 meant that Lenin and his crew pulled Russia out of the war with the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk. If the Western Allies faltered without U.S. support, Germany could have focused even more on consolidating gains in the East. Say hello to a German-dominated Europe and possibly Asia. Without America's involvement, Woodrow Wilson's 14 points would have been just 14 suggestions. No League of Nations, no vision for global cooperation. Just a bunch of European powers squabbling over borders and colonies like kids fighting over the last slice of pizza. Would this have prevented World War II? Or would it have sped it up? A humiliated Germany fueled the rise of Hitler, but a victorious Germany could have been just as dangerous. Imagine a scenario where Germany doesn't need a crazy dictator to seek vengeance. It's already the dominant power. And let's not forget what this means for America. No entry into WWI means no rise as a global superpower, at least not as quickly. The US might have stayed in its isolationist bubble, missing its chance to shape the 20th century. Would the Cold War even happen if America wasn't the counterweight to a victorious Germany or Soviet Russia? No American involvement means no roaring economy after the war, no roaring 20s, and possibly no Great Depression as we know it. Maybe that butterfly flaps its wings and suddenly the entire trajectory of the 20th century changes. And what about the cultural side? No WWI for America means no over there, no war heroes like Alvin York, and no wide-eyed optimism about making the world safe for democracy. So what if America never joined WWI? It's a rabbit hole of possibilities. A longer war, a different map of Europe, a delayed American superpower, and maybe even an alternate World War II. One thing's for sure, history as we know it would have taken a wildly different turn. But hey, America eventually put down the popcorn and picked up the rifle, changing the course of the war and the world. Love it or hate it, you can't deny that moment shaped the 20th century. And just think, it all started with a little thing called the Lusitania and a certain Zimmerman telegram. Turns out, even in history, sometimes all it takes is a bad text and a sunken ship to change the world.